Hi friends, welcome back to our little cottage here on the river in the far north of Idaho. So this is the first video that's posting while we're on vacation down in Colorado. And you will probably see some updates in my shorts videos of our little vacation that we are taking, or big vacation, I should say. So I have a couple videos lined up to post while we're gone, and this is the first one. And so in this video, I'm sharing with you a very, very simple sourdough discard cracker. And I already have my other easy sourdough discard cracker recipe where you're going to add some flour and some other things and you actually roll them out and cut them out. But this recipe is even simpler than that. It's literally just pouring the sourdough discard onto a parchment-lined baking sheet and topping with some salt, maybe some cheese and some herbs, and sticking this in the oven. And it is so, so simple and so good. And so this recipe is great when you want to use up your sourdough discard, but you don't want to do a really involved recipe. And so, as I said, here I'm doing about 2 cups of sourdough discard. So this is kind of a double batch, I would say, of the crackers. And to this batch, I wanted to add some herbs and give that a try. And so I had some rosemary from the garden. And so I chopped up some fresh rosemary and added it to this bowl. And then you're just going to stir this together, and you're going to take a baking sheet that is lined with parchment paper, and you're simply going to pour this onto the parchment paper. And I would say only do 1 cup of the starter per baking sheet because you want to get this as thin as you possibly can. And also you're going to want your oven preheating to 400 degrees. So make sure your oven's preheating, getting nice and hot. And so here I'm lining the baking sheet with parchment paper, and you're going to see me pouring about 1 cup of this mixture onto the parchment paper. And then I'm simply just going to take my spoon and spread this out as thin as I can get it. The thinner the better, because then that's going to make for a delightfully crispy cracker. And I also want to make sure that I top this with salt. There is no salt in sourdough discard, and so you definitely want to add salt to this. And you kind of want to add a little bit more than what you would think. So obviously not too much, but don't be stingy with the salt. Really make sure you get a nice amount of salt on there. Otherwise, I just find, I don't know how to explain it. You just need the salt. So make sure you're getting a good amount of salt on there. And then you're going to bake this in the 400 degree oven for 20 to 25 minutes. It kind of does take a little bit of time. So, but just keep an eye on it because you don't want it to burn. But it is going to turn a lovely golden brown. And you're just going to pull this out of the oven, and it's going to cool very quickly. And then I just break it into pieces. So you can pull it out like halfway through the baking time and kind of score it with a knife if you're wanting more uniform crackers, but and then put it back in the oven and finish baking, and then it'll just break apart in more uniform pieces. But you know, to keep it really, really simple, you can just break it into pieces this way as well. And yeah, keeps it very, very simple. And then to store it, I just put it in, you know, I have a big half-gallon mason jar. I just throw it in there, put the lid on, and these stay wonderfully crispy. And my son and my daughter absolutely love them as a snack. And so with this one, as I said, I just did a simple, I put rosemary, put the rosemary in it just to kind of see how that would do. And then this next batch that I'm making, I'm going to do some cheese. And so here I'm pouring about 1 cup of the discard onto the parchment lined baking sheet. I'm going to spread that out nice and thin. And then I'm going to take some fresh Parmesan and I'm going to grate Parmesan over the top of this, a really nice layer of Parmesan. And then I'm still going to add some salt because the Parmesan is already a little bit salty. You don't have to add as much salt this time, but I'll add a little bit of salt to this and bake it in the exact same way. And these were so good. And it was definitely the consensus that everyone liked these ones better than the ones with the rosemary in them, even though the ones with the rosemary were still really good. So, but yeah, you can definitely play around with different herbs. You can, I mean, I think it'd be really fun to try and put like maybe garlic powder at one point in them and try that out and see if that's good. I haven't tried it yet, but that's something that would be really fun to try. But yeah, just you can have a lot of fun with it and play around with it. And as I said, these store really well in just a mason jar, just some sort of airtight container, and they are perfect for snacking on. As always, I will have the recipe over on my blog, homespunannie.com, and I will also have it linked in the description box below. So I really hope that you guys will give this recipe a try. I think you will find it so easy and it's so good. It's such a fun, simple way to get homemade crackers at home, and you know the exact ingredients that have gone into them, and I think you will find they will be a big hit. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, share with someone else you think would enjoy it, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.